on FHI Falcons, who won the tip-off. We have Kenneth Andersen, Sebastian Frederiksen, Thor Johansson, Martin Kaas, Carina Jørgensen, Mike Borgstrøm, Thomas Pagh, Jon Johannesson, and Kurt Jensen. We have the first score by player number 5, Jon Johannesson from FHI Falcons. On court is Jon Johannesson, number 5, number 3, Carina Jørgensen, number 20, Thomas Pagh, and number 6, Thor Johansson from FHI Falcons. On court from the London Lions, we have player number 11, Ross Morrison. We have player number 1, Mandip Simi. We have player number 9, Steve Brown. And we have player number 5, Bulbul Hussain. London Lions was just took a timeout. They were able to see that they couldn't make it across the middle line within the 12 seconds. So they took a timeout. When the ball is inbounded and a player has possession of the ball, they have 12 seconds to lead the ball across the middle line. When the ball has crossed the middle line, it is not allowed to go back across the middle line, still in possession of the same team. Inbound by Steve Brown for Ross Morrison, bringing up the ball, and now Steve Brown goes with the ball and scores. Here, player number 3 from the FHI Falcons, Carina Jørgensen, is taking a timeout. He sees that he is possible to be pushed out of bounds, and then he takes a timeout to make sure that the ball is not turned over to the blue team, because it will be turned over to the blue team if he leaves the court with the ball in his possession. Jørgensen makes the score. On the FHI Falcons, we have player number 3, Carina Jørgensen. He is 3 points. We have Jon Johannesson, player number 5. He's 2.5. We have player number 6, Thor Johansson, and he is 2 points. And we have Thomas Pagh, number 20, which is 0.5. Player number 5 just went into the penalty bin for spinning another player. When you spin another player, you hit a player with a tackle just behind the axle of the back wheel. That is not allowed because the player loses his balance. When a player goes into the penalty bin, when a player is spin, you can have 2 types of penalties when it's an offensive foul. You can have either a penalty goal or you can have 1 minute in the penalty bin. The 1 minute in the penalty depends on if there is a goal by the other team. If there is a goal by the other team, there will be a goal release. On the London Lions, we have the players. Player number 1, Mandip Simi, he's 2.5. Player number 11, Ross Morrison, he is 2.5. Player number 5, Bulbul Hussain, he is 1 point. And player number 9, Steve Brown, who is 2 points. Now, London team has just had a substitution. So on court now is player number 7, Chris Ryan, who's 2 points. Player number 10, Luke White, who is 3.5. Player number 9, Steve Brown, who is 2 points. And player number 5, Bubba Hussain, who is 1 point. No. Player number 2, Bubba was substituted with player number 2, Johnny Cocken, who is 0.5. When the ball is inbounded, the team has 40 seconds to make a score. This was the end of the 40 seconds. And the blue team, they didn't make the score. So now the ball is turned over to the black team. Score by player number 3, Carina Jørgensen. Black team is trying with the defense on her. London makes a quick score here by Steve Brown, player number 9. A rugby game is played with 4 periods of 8 minutes. Every time the ball is dead, the time is stopped. That means 1 period of 8 minutes can easily take in between 20 to 25 minutes to play. In between the periods you have between the first and second period you have 2 minutes, and between second, third period you have 5 minutes, and in between third and fourth period you have 2 minutes. The ball is inbounded, and the score. When the ball is inbounded, the team has 12 seconds to cross the middle line, and they have 40 minutes to make the score. The ball carrier has to dribble or pass the ball within 10 seconds, otherwise he can be penalized by a turnover to the other team. And a score by player number 10, Luke White. There's 2 types of chairs the players usually play in, which is the offensive chairs and the defensive chairs. The defensive chairs is what you see on player number 2 from the London Lions and player number 20 from the FHI Falcons. Those are the defensive chairs, and they are made so the bumper can hold on to the offensive chairs and stop the offensive players from going fast to make a score. When the team is trying to make the score, here we see the number 6 from the black team, Falcons, when he drove into the key area. And in the key area, you are only allowed 3 defensive players. When the offensive players are only allowed to stay in the key area for 10 seconds. So you cannot sit in the key area just waiting for a ball pass so you can make a score. But you have to, if you are almost there for 10 seconds, you have to drive out of the key area and then go back in. Now we see that the London Lions take a coach timeout or a bench timeout. They have 2 coach or bench timeouts during a game, and the coach can go to the table officials and announce that he wishes to have a bench timeout, and at the next stop in game, a dead ball, he will be allowed to take his timeout. The timeout lasts is for 1 minute, and the team can discuss tactics during that timeout. To make a score in a rugby game, you have to bring the ball across the goal line, which is in the other end of the inbound. You just have to bring 2 wheels across the goal line to make a score. If you put 1 wheel across the goal line, but then go back onto the court with the same wheel before having 2 wheels cross the goal line, it will be the call out and in. That is not allowed and will be penalized with loss of possession of the ball. In rugby, you're not allowed to have contact with on the chairs when the ball is dead. When the referee blows a whistle for the inbound, it's allowed to have contact between the chairs, but not until the whistle has blown. If the team has contact between the chairs before that, the referee can make the call a contact warning. First one will be a warning and will be noted on the sheet, and then if they have the second warning, it will be penalized with either loss of possession of the ball or 1 minute in the penalty box. You are not allowed to touch each other during a game. You can try and go for the ball to make a turnover and have possession of the ball for yourself, but you are not allowed to touch the other person's arms or legs.
15! 12!
There was a score by number 10, Luke White from London. When you have possession of a ball, you have to make a dribble or a pass within 10 seconds, or you lose possession of the ball. All contact between the chairs, most contact between the chair is legal during the game. It is not legal to make a tackle behind the axle of the back wheel. That can be penalized with the spinning violation. And it is not allowed to push people into an illegal position. When you push a person into an illegal position, it is if you don't release the chair before going for next hit. If you just push and push and push, it is not allowed. If you release the chair and then tackle once more, it is allowed to make another player go into an illegal position, and they can lose possession of the ball. Here we see a player making a timeout. The timeout, each team has 4 timeouts during a game, and they can take it from the court and they can choose when to take the timeout. There was no score in this situation. The player hit the cone and left the court before having 2 wheels cross the goal line. Then there's no score and the ball is turned over to the blue team. Here Mandip Semi with number 1 from London, making his score with 9 minutes to go of this period. Black team didn't make the score because the blue team had defensive players sitting in good positions to make sure that the black team didn't have the time to make the score with the 9 seconds that was left. Ball is inbounded, and since black team won the possession of the ball, after the tip-off, the ball was being awarded to the blue team at the start of this period. Here we have one of the blue players was sitting in the key area for more than 10 seconds. That is not allowed and is penalized with a turnover, so now it's black ball.
Stay on him, guys.
Ball is inbounded. Score by number 1, Mandip Semi. I would just like to say thank you to everyone who is watching and listening here on SPS TV, also the ones from anywhere else in Denmark, GB, and perhaps somewhere else. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
That's it, Ross. Well played. Yes, London.
Score
Good play, London.
by Ross Morrison, number 11. Rugby is a very fast game since you have a lot of long inbounds passes to players that can go very fast and make a score, so you can make scores on very few seconds. And since the time is always stopped when the ball is dead, then the periods can be fairly long, for 20 to 25 minutes. And there's a score by number 5, Bobo Hussein from London Lions.
Good work. Good work.
Here, the defense of the London Lions makes sure that the FHI Falcons almost didn't make it across to the other side of the court in time for the 12 seconds.
London! London!
Here we have a black player leaving the court on the goal line. That is not allowed and is penalized either with 1 minute in the penalty box or with a penalty goal. And since the blue player was in the scoring position, the penalty was a penalty goal. A player is allowed to leave the court on every other line than the goal line if they enter the court again in the same place as they left the court. If they go in a different place and get an advantage by that, it is not allowed and will be penalized. Here we have a turnover to the black team, and Jon Johannesson, number 5 from the FHI Falcons, make a score. Score by number 11, Ross Morrison from the London Lions. The defense of the Danish team is trying to keep the blue players away from the inbounder to make sure that he's not able to make the inbound within the 10 seconds he has.
Yes, London.
What's the score by player number 9, Steve Brown from the London Lions. The ball is inbounded.
Ball's gone.
This time the FHI Falcons, they go to their key area and they have a key defense instead of where they are trying to keep the players away from the inbounder. Score by Mandip Singh from the London Lions, player number 1. Player number 9 from the London Lions trying to push player number 3, Carina Jørgensen, very close to the line, so he might go out of bounds with the ball instead of making the score. So we have substitution on both teams. On the London team, we now have on court player number 10, Luke White, and player number 9, Steve Brown. Player number 7, Chris Ryan, and player number 2, Johnny Cogan. On the FHI Falcons, the black team, we have player number 2, Carina Jørgensen, who is 1 point. We have player number 5, Jon Johansen, who is 2.5. We have Mike Bostrup, player number 4, who is 1.5. And we have Sebastian Frederiksen, player number 15. He is 3.5. Score here by Luke White, player number 10. It's a 3.5 player. The players are classified with the function of their hands, their chest muscles, their arm muscles, their trunk, and they can be classified from 0.5 up to 3.5, where 3.5 is the best and 0.5 is the player with the lesser function. Usually the player with the lesser amount of points is the one in the defensive chairs, and the higher number, higher classified players is the players in the offensive positions on the teams. Here we have a score by number 9, Steve Brown. Here we have player number 7, Chris Ryan, making an illegal use of hands on player number 4 from the FHI Falcons and is penalized with the penalty goal. Player number 4 was in the scoring position, and that's why it is penalized with the penalty goal and not 1 minute in the penalty box. By number 15, Sebastian Frederiksen from FHI Falcons.
Yes, Luke.
We have score by Luke White, player number 10 from the London Lions. Player number 15 taking a timeout since When a player is already crossed the line, you are not allowed to go back on the other side of the line. And since the player saw that he was almost crossing the line, going back, he took the time out, and they are allowed then to go to their benches for 30 seconds. They are allowed to stay on the court as well. So, FHI Falcons have substitution. Player number 3, Carina Jørgensen, is back on the court, and player number 6, Tor Johannesson, is back on court, and player number 20, Thomas Pay, is back on court. And we have a score by Luke White from the London Lions. Score by player number 3 from the FHI Falcons, Carina Jørgensen. Ball's inbounded. We have around 40 seconds left of this game. Yet another score by player number 10, Luke White. So 32 seconds, which means no shot clock during this inbound. Shot clock shows 40 seconds, which the team has to make the score. If they don't make the score within the 40 seconds, ball is turned over to the opposing team. Well, we had a score with 6 seconds to go. Break between periods second and third. Game is started, second period, and the FHI Falcon is in possession of the ball. The ball is in the possession of the Falcons because last time a ball had to be there was a help ball or was possession after a period was for London Lions, so this time it was for the FHI Falcons. The direction for that is made when the ball is tipped off in the beginning. Referee calls equipment on player number 6 from black team FHI Falcons. Equipment you are allowed to call at all times, but the referee will call it when it's a possibility. If the opposite team is in a scoring position, you are not allowed to take an equipment. But if they are not in a scoring position, you can take an equipment. The opposing team will then have a reset on the shot clock, which means the 40 seconds will be reset. If the team that takes the equipment is the one with the possession of the ball, the shot clock will not be reset. An equipment can be taken at any point when you have a problem with the equipment. If you have a flat tire, if gloves are not taped on properly, or if sleeves on the arms are not placed correct. An equipment can last up to 1 minute, and if it's not possible to make the reparations for in that 1 minute, you will have to substitute the player with another. We just had this 12 seconds call, which means the black team, the FHI Falcons, were not able to get the ball across the middle line within the 12 seconds. Since they were not able to do that, the ball was turned over to the blue team, the London Lions. And here we have a score by player number 9, Steve Brown. We have a score by Kørestolsrugby Jørgensen, player number 6. Score by player number 1, Mandip. Since this is the last game, the game for the gold medal, the players, they give everything they have left. They work really hard for this. You can see they push the wheel very, very hard. The ball is here turned over to the black team, and player number 3, Carina Jørgensen, is making the score. And score by Mandip, player number 1. Score by player number 5, Carina Jørgensen from the FHI Falcons. Here we have the referee making the call for in the key. Players are not allowed to be 4 defensive players in the key area. And because a blue player was in the scoring position with the ball, they were penalized with a penalty goal and not 1 minute in the penalty box. Now we will see some substitutions on both of the teams. In the London Lions team, we now have on court player number 10, Luke White, player number 7, Chris Ryan, player number 2, Johnny Cogan, and player number 9, Steve Brown. On the team FHI Falcons black team, we have player number 4, Mike Borgström, player number 5, Jon Johansson, player number 15, Sebastian Frederiksberg, and player number 20, Thomas Pay. Ball is inbounded, and here see really how they can push and go very fast. Have a turnover. The ball was caught by Sebastian Frederiksberg from the FHI Falcons, black team. And here you see Luke White pushing hard to go very fast to the end and making the score. The player with number 15 from FHI Falcons is screened off by one of the English players and is driving into the cone, making it leaving the court instead of a score, so the ball is turned over to the blue team. You're not allowed to leave the court with the ball, only between the cones and the goal line, and only if you're the offensive team with the ball. Here we have one of the team players with a flat tire, and he needs and gets a new wheel. While the mechanic is working, the players work their way around to get a good position to keep the inbounder from making a good pass to the black players. The blue players try to work really hard to make sure that there is no black player able to get the ball. Score by Sebastian Frederiksberg, player number 15. Here we have there was 4 defensive players, the black team, going into the key area, and that is not allowed. And since the blue player was in the scoring position, it was penalized with a penalty goal and not 1 minute in the penalty box. If the blue player had not been in a scoring position, it could have been penalized with 1 minute in the penalty box. When you sit in the penalty box, there is the goal release, so if the opposite team makes a score, you can be released by that goal. score by Luke White, number 10 from the London Lions. Team is pressured to take a timeout. Player number 7, Chris Ryan, saw on the shot clock that he was not able to make it across the middle line within the 28 seconds, and then he took a timeout. During the timeout, they are allowed to go to their benches for 30 seconds. They are also allowed to substitute, which the London team has done just now. And on court is now Steve Brown, number 9, 11, Rasmussen, number 1, Mandip Semi, and number 5, Bulbul Hussain. When you want to make a substitution in the wheelchair rugby, you have to go and make the substitution at the table where they also control the scoreboard and the shot clock. You have to tell the people there that you would like to have a substitution, and the next time the ball is dead, which is not after a score, you can have your substitution. That is if the ball goes out of bounds, or if there is a foul violation or a timeout. Score by number 11, Ross Morrison. Ball was over the line, so the ball was turned over to the blue team. Player from black team, number 20, was going over the goal line and was penalized with 1 minute in the penalty box, since the blue player was not in a scoring position. Now they have a reset on the shot clock, so they have 40 seconds now to make a score. If they make a score, the player in the penalty box will be released, and he does not have to sit there for 1 whole minute. Score by player number 11, Ross Morrison, and player number 20 from the black team is released. Score by player number 5, Jon Johansson. Now the ball is across the middle line within the 12 seconds. So a score by number 15, Sebastian Frederiksberg. The turnover and illegal use of the hands on player 11 from the blue team. We have a substitution on the black team. Now on court is player number 5, Jon Johansen, player 3, Carina Jørgensen, player 21, Martin Koch, and player number 6, Tor Hansen. And player number 11 from the London team has a penalty for legal use of the hands. Here he was trying to reach for the ball and he touched the player, and that is not allowed. He's released now by goal release. Here runs out of time on period 3, and now we have 2 minutes break until 4th and final period. Ball is inbounded and London make a quick score. Player number 10, Luke White. Score by player number 3, Carina Jørgensen. Score by player number 10, Luke White. So here we have 12 seconds to get across the middle line, and they didn't succeed, so now we have turnover and the ball is for blue team now, London Lions. By player number 7, Chris Ryan. Turnover. The ball was not caught by a black player, and now the ball is in the possession of the blue team. We have a player from the black team, player number 5, who crossed the goal line without the ball, and being a defensive player is not allowed since the blue team was not in the scoring position. The penalty for this is 1 minute in the penalty box. Black team now has a coach timeout or a bench timeout. You have 2 bench coach timeouts during a game and is allowed to take those whenever you like to when the ball is dead. A coach timeout or bench timeout is for 1 minute. Here we have a player going out of the penalty bin in the wrong place, which is penalized. Since the ball was a black ball, and it's turnover. So now it's the blue inbound. When a player is in the penalty box, they have to go out of the penalty box in the right places. Otherwise, it can be penalized with a technical foul. A technical foul will be penalized in the same way as any other fouls, by turnover or a new minute in the penalty box or a penalty goal. The ball was caught by number 10 Luke White and made a quick score. London team just made 3 goals in a row and is now up by 1. It's a very close game, and should we have the game ending with a tie, it will be overtime on this game. Overtime in a rugby game is 3 minutes. And if that does not have a winner, it will go into new overtime. A rugby game can never end in a tie. You always have to find a winner, and then you will have to play overtimes. Here we see how the defensive chairs with the low point players with the bumper can hold on to one of the high point players. Blue team has 4 players in the key area, and a player is sent to the penalty box, since the right player was not in a scoring position. When a player is sent to the penalty box, there is a reset on the 40-second shot clock. So they have 40 seconds now to make a score. If they make the score within the 40 seconds, the player in the penalty box will be released by the goal. If there should be a turnover and the ball is on with the blue team in possession of the blue team, then the person in the penalty box can sit there for an entire minute. Scored by player number 10, Luke White. Luke White is 3.5, so he is the most points that a player can have. If a player is tested to have more than 3.5 points, then they are not allowed to play Wheelchair Rugby. By player number 3, Carina Jørgensen. And we have the turn over to black possession. Ball is turned over to blue team. Black team is making a substitution. Player number 21 goes out Player number 21, Martin Koch, and player number 20 is on court now, Thomas Prey. Here we have two players possessing the ball. That makes a help ball, and then its possession is black. A player has just fallen down. The referees can decide to stop the game and to get the player up. If the player is in a dangerous position, you will always stop the game to get the player up. If the player was not in a dangerous place, the referees could let the game carry on. If the other team was just about to score, they would be able to let the team score and then call in the mechanics from the team to get the player up. If the player is unable to play after he's been down, then they are allowed to substitute. Score by player number 5, Jon Johansson. By player number 3, and here player number 9 from the London Lions goes for the ball, but he touches the black player, the number 3, so he gets a penalty in the penalty box. Since the player with the number 3 was not in a scoring position, it's 1 minute in the penalty box. He will, however, be released by goal. Ball's inbounded. Here we have a player making a penalty goal. Because the blue player is leaving the court on the goal line, it's a penalty goal since the black player was in the scoring position. A penalty goal does not release the player from the penalty box. The ball is inbounded to the blue team. Blue player is hit with a hard tackle and left the court with the ball in his possession. That is not allowed, so the ball is turned over to black team. Black team still has to get the ball across the middle line within the 12 seconds. Here they make a score. Well, they're just using up some time, so they didn't make a score. And the score, and player number 9 is released from the penalty. Ball's inbounded. And the score by player number 10 from the London Lions, Luke White. And the blue player left the court with a tackle from player number 3, and since he was in the scoring position, it was penalized with a penalty goal. Score by player number 9 from the London Lions, Steve Brown. Now we have the blue team London Lions taking a coach timeout. The coach timeout is for 1 minute and is allowed to take at any time during the game. And the table officials will call the timeout when the ball is dead at some point. And blue team London Lions, they made a substitution during their coach's timeout. Now on court is number 9, Steve Brown, number 1, Mandip Semi, number 11, Rasmussen, and number 5, Bulbul Hussain. Score by player number 1, Mandip Semi. Score by player number 3, Carina Jørgensen. And score by player number 11, Rasmussen. Player number 6, Thor Johansen. Score by player number 11, Ross Morrison. England. Score by player number 3, and the player has fallen down. You just get the player up. And when a player has fallen down, he is allowed the time to correct all the straps in the part of his chair, so he will be able to drive with his chair properly. We have now blue ball with 1 second to go. FHI Falcons is the winner of the gold medal game here in the Europa Cup.